So CEOs are starting to brag about firing people and replacing them with AI. I wish I was kidding, but unfortunately I am not. So let me walk you through this here. CEO brags that he gets extremely excited firing people and replacing them with AI. Quote, AI doesn't go on strike. It doesn't ask for a pay raise. Man, it's almost like they're trying to sound like comic book villains, isn't it? All right, so let me walk you through it. Here's what they say. Lest you forget that many CEOs are more than willing to fire you and replace you with a shoddy AI model with sociopathic glee. Here are the words of one such executive at the forefront of displacing human labor. Quote, CEOs are extremely excited about the opportunities that AI brings. Elijah Clark, a chief executive who advises other head honchos on using AI at their companies, told Gizmodo in an interview, as a CEO myself, I can tell you I'm extremely excited about it. I've laid off employees myself because of AI. AI doesn't go on strike. It doesn't ask for a pay raise. He added, parroting cliched talking points, much like a certain overhyped technology, these things that you don't have to deal with as CEO. Clark is one of many executives who've been strikingly honest about their intentions to cast aside their flesh and blood workers in favor of AI. And so they go on to say here that somebody put up a billboard in San Francisco that says, stop hiring humans. And they also put one up in New York. And then they go on to give some examples of companies that have already fired people for AI. In fact, one company, as you can see right here, it says, fired 27 of the team of 30 and replaced with AI. They also talk about how, look, like, in some ways, the shit is not even remotely close to good enough yet, but they literally can't, like, the CEOs are chomping at the bit. They literally can't wait to get to the point where they fire as many people as possible and let the AI do the work. And look, that begs the question, dog. Like, what kind of a system are we living in? Where they're openly saying, like, yeah, we're going to mass lay off people. Everybody's going to lose their jobs. And then they're going to be on their own. And oh yeah, by the way, the Trump regime cut the social safety net, so you're not going to have anything to fall back on. So you're going to have no money coming in from a job, no money coming in as, you know, a safety net of last resort to make sure you can pay the light bills and stay in your house. And like, so what are we doing here? What is this society that we're living in? What is this economy that we're living in? There's got to be a better way to do this. I mean, I remember back Stephen Hawking, when he was alive, he made some comment on basically like machines and robots coming to replace everybody's jobs. And what he said is, look, before we get to that point, we need to realize that like we got to divvy this shit up fairly. Like right now, the way it works, where you have like a fraction of the top 1% that makes all the money and gets all the spoils and everybody else just fights for the crumbs. We cannot have that going into the future with AI taking over, because if you do, there's going to be a revolution. There's going to be blood in the streets. There's going to be pissed off people. There's going to be widespread extreme poverty. You know, there's going to be the haves and the have-nots on a level that we can't even wrap our minds around right now. And it was him who said that. He's the one who said, look, you got to like, if you have AI, you got to like, okay, this is your robot, bro, and your robot, you reap the rewards of what this robot does. Like, but instead you have these CEOs and these owners who think, well, I'll just have no workers whatsoever. And if I have no workers whatsoever, then I'll just make more profit. And it's like, but how are you going to make more profit in the long run if everybody loses their fucking job? Who's going to buy your shitty goods? There's nobody going to be there to buy it. It all goes back to that thing Henry Ford said back in the day, which is like, I want to pay the workers in my factory enough to be able to buy my cars. Right? He viewed that as that's a good thing in the long run. These people need to be able to afford my shit. And now it's the total opposite mindset. It's like, let me get mine. Dog eat dog world. Let me get mine. You go fuck yourself. And then it'll work out for me. And that's all I fucking care about. But the whole game is going to explode. It's all going to blow up in a scenario where we're not looking out for the needs of everybody. And that's where we're at right now. When you're chomping at the bit to fire everybody and replace them with AI. And so what are people supposed to do, bro? If you lose your job, what are you supposed to do? Oh, I don't know, have leisure time. But if you don't have the basics to be able to put a roof over your head and food in your tummy, like, what? You're not going to do that either, right? Like, is it just misery? Is it just extreme poverty? Is it just you're useless now, go die? Like, what are we talking about here? So, I'm sorry, but like capitalism is going to fucking kill us, bro. Capitalism is going to destroy us. I mean, think of the society that we're creating where it's like, sorry, everybody's going to lose your job because AI is going to take it over. But like I said, you won't be able to get a new job because AI will be doing that job too. And you also won't be able to get help from the government with the social safety net because we just destroyed Medicaid. You know, we're going to destroy Medicare next. We're going to destroy Social Security. We already cut 50% of the Social Security offices. Any help you could get, you're not going to get it anymore. And so, like, what are we doing? It's a race to the bottom. It's literally like sacrificing everybody in this country at the altar of the top 1% is what it is. And before we get to that point, there's going to be hell to pay, if you ask me. I think that's what's going to happen. I think people are not going to put up with it. I think they're going to fire back. And also, let's also point out, it's very possible that this whole AI shit is just a massive bubble anyway, right? Like, have I been impressed with some elements of AI? Sure. Like, some of the stuff, you ask it a question, it gives you a good, solid answer, bullet point format, very digestible and easy to understand. But then sometimes they have fucking hallucinations where they just make some shit up. And then other times, an idiot like Elon Musk is the one who programs Grok, and Grok is out there calling itself Mecha Hitler. So it also could be that there's massive overpromising and underdelivering, which would be a different problem. It would be, sort of like how you had the internet bubble back in the 90s, and that shit burst, and then the economy was fucked up for a while. We could have a similar, like an AI bubble right now, where that's going to burst, and then, people are going to lose their jobs in a different way, but it's because overpromising, underdelivering, malinvestment in the economy. And, like, that's also very likely, that's also very possible, because in some ways, I don't think this technology is even ready yet. Not that they're not going to try to fire people and replace them with AI, but I don't know if we're all the way there yet. But either way, clearly the way that this economy, the way that this society is structured is not fucking sustainable, bro. When you don't care, when people don't have health care, right? When people don't make a living wage, when housing costs way too much, like it's just everything's all out of whack. And that's how you get like all these social ills that pop up. That's how you get this bubbling fucking far-right fascism in the country and like mental illness bubbling up in the country. It's because everything's all out of whack. We've gone far away from egalitarianism, far away from giving everybody a shot, and now we're dealing with the fallout of that. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.